Dave, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, not at all.
I'm a very big fan of science fiction, in books and in movies.
I'll give some credit to Hollywood because they capture our imaginations and they do take us to space.
I've wondered whether you might be having some second thoughts.
As I get closer to going to space myself, I do pick some of the things out of movies that just don't seem quite right.
There are a few ingredients that are necessary for good science fiction.
How do you mean?
First ingredient, it has to be plausible. A little, at least.
We must confront the reality of interstellar travel.
You cannot break the laws of physics too much, to the point where it really doesn't make sense. That's annoying. For example, if you look at Alien, Sigourney Weaver gets rid of one of the monsters by opening a hatch into the vacuum of space, and there goes the monster, but she manages to stay back, holding on with one arm. That's too much. Physics cannot handle that, because the laws of physics, they apply equally to everything.
The one film that really kind of drove me bonkers was of course Gravity, with just the way they portrayed orbital mechanics. I mean, I thought they did an awesome job of capturing the views and the sense of how motion works in space with an astronaut in microgravity.
Explorer's been hit. Explorer, do you read?
But what they got completely wrong was the reality of orbital mechanics. They're like, oh, we'll just go from the International Space Station over to a Chinese space station. It actually takes a tremendous amount of energy to change orbits like that.
Do it now!
Well, the movies that I consider to be the worst offenders, it would have to be Armageddon.
The United States government has just asked us to save the world.
We're going to the top, baby!
Armageddon. Oh my gosh, Armageddon. They got so much wrong in that one.
Hitting a rock from the outside won't do the job.
So, we nuke this thing from the inside? How?
We drill.
They made little effort at all to inform the audience about the impact of blowing up objects like asteroids in space. It just is a little bit irritating.
Astronauts, welcome to space.
It's about time. I haven't flown up in about an hour.
One thing that always gets me is when they have these completely unrealistic, absolutely absurd spacecraft.
You know, we're sitting on 4 million pounds of fuel, one nuclear weapon, and a thing that has 200,000 moving parts, built by the lowest bidder. Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
With these like wonky power generation or combustion systems, especially in the Avengers movies, they're very guilty of this.
Who hasn't been to space? You better not throw up on my ship.
I think not all the vehicles that fly in the Avengers would necessarily fly. But I don't know, maybe they have some technologies that we don't. I just always look at that whenever I'm watching and think, not quite.
There's actually several movies out there that have come very close to capturing the actual experience. First of all, a recent movie would be the movie Martian.
Mein Gott. Mark Watney's still alive.
In your face, Neil Armstrong.
A lot of the technologies that you saw in that movie there, growing crops in space, the rover, that is technology that either exists today or is in development.
Let's do the math. I gotta figure out how to grow 4 years worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows.
I thought they portrayed the reality of how hard it is to be in a place like that and how that planet would just be constantly trying to kill you.
It's space. It doesn't cooperate. I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you.
And although I know there'd be tremendous risk, I'd want the opportunity to fight my way back. I guess just like Matt Damon did.
That's the next enormous step. When someone will be standing 2 feet on planet Mars, it will be a huge, huge endeavor for humanity. That's why science fiction is so popular, always has been, because we dream of what the world could be, where it could be.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
You know, 2001: A Space Odyssey, an absolutely remarkable movie.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
One of the dreams that I had as a kid was being able to use that line, open the pod bay doors, Hal, and then have the computer respond, I'm sorry, Dave, we can't do that. And, you know, I flew in space twice, but never had a chance to use the line.
It really gave us a good feel for what deep space exploration is going to be like in the years to come.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.